Hello, writers. Hello, amazing creatives. I have got such a treat for you today. I'm going to be interviewing Maria Koropecky. Maria Koropecky is a writer, she's a coach, she's a creative writing coach, she's a storyteller, she's also a crystal mapper. And she helps introverts and artists and writers really tap into the energy of their colors, the energy of their chakras and crystals so that they can find their voice, shine their light, and share their gifts. And we're going to be having a really important conversation today about how to play that waiting game when you are waiting for either an agent to get back to you or a publisher to get back to you, or even if you're waiting to hear about a new creative opportunity or a job. So Maria is coming from personal experience with this, as you'll hear in the interview, but also she's got a wealth of expertise because Maria also helps other writers. She helps writers overcome their blocks using what she refers to as gifts from Mother Nature. And Maria draws from her coach training. She draws from an English degree. She draws from a mobile spa experience and also energy healing and her love of crystals. She's also currently writing her own novel trilogy. And she's at the first book in the series at the moment. It's a self-love story with lots of walking and even the odd miracle. And she got the idea for this trilogy while she was backpacking in Spain in September 2019. So her family had given her a gift of walking the Camino for her 50th birthday. And there was a moment in her trip, a moment of real sheer frustration. And that's when she realized that this adventure was great fodder for a novel. So we're going to be diving into that today. So I'm really pleased to welcome Maria. Yay, welcome, Maria. I'm so glad that we're going to be having this conversation about how to play that really crazy waiting game. So welcome into the broadcast studio. I'm so excited to share you with my audience. I'd love for you to start, give us a flavor of the waiting game that you are currently playing so that we get some context first.
Okay, thank you, Gab, so much for this opportunity. I'm delighted to be here. And so I am, like Gab said, um, we were I had a conversation with someone about my novel, and I told her that I was looking for an agent and a publisher, and and this is where I am in for book one of my trilogy. And she asked me a couple of questions, and as it turns out, she's very well connected in the publishing world and in the entertainment world. And she said, I, she said, I'll help you out. I'll make some phone calls for you. And and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. What a gift.
Yeah.
And so that was we talked on Tuesday a week ago, and then she said, "Can you send me an outline of your book series, and so that I have an idea of what it is?" And I was like, and she said, "Can you send it to me by Thursday morning?" And I was like, "Okay." And that was actually a really brilliant exercise for me, because it gave me so much clarity about the arc of my story. And so I did it. I rolled up my sleeves. I did this. And then I sent it to her on Thursday, and she read it right away. It's like 20 pages. And she's like, okay, would you be open to for this to be turned into a TV series or a film? And I was like, yes, I would be.
Yeah.
Which was like totally out of my range.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, I'll call a dear friend.
Yeah.
And so that was Thursday, and it's now Tuesday. And so I've been in this space of like, what do I do? Do I do I just put this to the side and let things happen? Do I go for a walk? Do I work on another project? Do I start something new? Do I keep writing book 2? What, like, I was just like, I didn't want to mess anything up,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what to do with my own energy.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm like experiencing this as we're speaking, is like, okay, what do you do in that space before you know the answer?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's the question, and then there's the space, and then there's the answer. Like, what do you do in the
Mm.
middle?
Yeah, honestly, and Maria, this is such a relevant topic, and what you said, which is like, what do I do? Do I go on a walk? Do I start writing another project? So, like, what I'm hearing is like, do I just try to forget about it, or do I carry on? Do I just carry on doing what I was doing? And I think what I'm hearing is like, there's a real sense of there's a few different directions that you could go in, but also that you want to do what's best. You want to do what's right, what's going to be most beneficial.
Yes. Yes.
Like you said, where do I put this energy? So give us a little bit of an insight into like where your energy is right now. Like, how are you feeling about this? What are you saying to yourself?
Um, well, there's a part of me that is really excited, and this is brand new. Like, things
Mm,
like this um, haven't happened for me in my life, and so I've kind of taken the slow scenic route, like in through life, and nothing really this big has ever come my way. And so I'm not used to it. It's very brand new. So I'm
mm,
excited, like, oh, maybe this is my lucky break.
mhm,
And then on the other hand, it's like, oh, well, this stuff doesn't happen for me.
mm,
I'll mess it up. I'll sabotage, or I'll do something, and then I go in the opposite direction, and I start getting worried and fearful,
yeah,
and then it's like, "No, no, no, I gotta, like, raise my energy," like, and so I'm bouncing back and forth between trying to stay positive and then not falling into, like, um, my old ways. So
yeah,
so really straddling that part those parts of me that I I I really want something new and big and exciting to happen,
mhm,
because I have been working on this book, during this pandemic. And it would be really beautiful if I could turn it into something that other people can read and share and enjoy. And I want to see um, my story, you know, be shown to the world. I really
mhm,
want that. I don't
yeah,
want to stop it from. I don't want to keep it just to myself.
mm,
But at the same time, I'm like, putting myself out there is scary.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I heard you say this stuff never happens to me. So there's a sound there of like an old way of thinking. Like you sort of talked about, that's the old me where I'm gonna mess it up, I'm gonna sabotage it. So I'm getting a sense that your brain has already automatically gone to that particular story. It's like, what do I do in this situation? And it's kind of like going through the archives of your memories and being like, well, I don't have an example of this. All I've got are these examples of like all the times it's never happened to me. But here's the thing, it's very general, isn't it? Like, oh, this kind of stuff never happens to me. So let's just have a look at that generalization. So
Okay.
what kind of stuff supposedly never happens to you? Like, how would you be specific about that?
I think it has to do with that lucky break, like being. There's a line in the book "We Are the Mulvaneys," and she says something like being plucked from obscurity. Okay, so I feel like I've been living in obscurity and then and this may be my chance where I get plucked from it and become the me that I've always wanted to be.
Uh-huh.
And so I've yeah, so that's what it is. It's like I've always kind of lived under the wire, kind
Uh-huh.
of doing my own thing, being quiet. And one thing I've noticed during this pandemic is and after my Camino, certainly, it's just me wanting to just put myself out there and go outside and meet
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's I don't know, maybe it's something about turning 50. I don't know what it is, but it's like suddenly I'm like, I don't want to be the best kept secret anymore. I want to share what I've got.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you wanna be plucked.
Yeah.
You wanna be plucked, but there's also part of your brain that's saying, "But I don't get plucked."
Mhm.
Okay. So I want you to think now, I want you to think about a time that you got chosen to do something, because there will be a time, there'll have been a time in your life where someone did point at you, asked you to do something, or chose you to do something. There will be a time in your life when you weren't just Maria Obscure, where you did get plucked, but not maybe not to have your book turned into a film, but in another area of your life. Can be any area at all. What comes to mind when you think, okay, yeah, I was chosen then, or I was singled out then?
Hmm. The only time that comes to mind right now, and I'm just going to go with it. Um, 20 years ago, um, this this cat um, showed up in my apartment building,
Yeah.
and it was during a time when my father was dying, and this
Mm.
beautiful black cat showed up in the rain. And l- I later found out that really this cat just chose me and was like, I'm here for you, like you among everybody else right now. You're the one that I want to be with.
Mm.
And so um, I feel like animals, they can see, they know stuff,
Mhm.
and they know who's who and what's what.
Mhm.
And they're drawn to energy.
Mhm.
And so this cat, I feel like, yeah, I didn't choose the cat chose me.
Yeah. And you said that animals feel stuff, they're drawn to energy. So what would you say it was within you that that cat was drawn to?
Hmm, well, that's a sweet question. Um, I think my sensitivity and my um, walking off the beaten path,
Mm.
like a little bit not so mainstream,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone who's just a little bit different, a little bit special, a little bit um yeah, yeah.
Love this. So let's just listen to the language. You've gone from obscure Maria to someone who's a little bit different, someone who's a little bit special, someone who's sensitive, someone who's off the beaten path. And that's what enabled you to get chosen.
Oh,
What do you get from that?
I I get being myself,
Mm.
being authentic, and and letting myself be seen, and the people who relate and resonate with me will see me.
Like that cat, yeah? That cat
Yeah.
resonated with, I'm looking for someone who's off the path. I'm looking for someone who's got some sensitivity. And when you described the story, you talked about your father being ill, so it sounded like that opportunity came at a time when you needed it.
Yes.
And how does that resonate to how do you feel about what you need right now and whether this opportunity has also come, has this opportunity come at a time when you're like, oh my God, I really need this?
Yes.
And in what way does it feel like it's raining right now? Because you said it was raining. Like, what would
Yeah.
you say in what way is it raining right now for you that you're like, oh my God, this black cat that's now come into my life feels like a great time.
Oh, yes. Great catch. I great listening. I Interestingly enough, when I was on my Camino, in Spain, it wasn't supposed to be raining, but from my Camino, it rained an awful lot. And
Mm,
I got the idea, as I was hiking, was that rain means relief. And oddly enough, on Thursday, after I had the conversation with that woman, um, I was like, okay, I'm going to go and take a walk. But it was pouring rain. It was like it was chunky rain, you know? And I was like, "That's it. I'm just going for a walk." And I got my raincoat and I went anyway. And I was like, "Oh, yes. Rain means relief."
mm,
And so that I didn't connect that with my cat, Charlie.
mhm,
Um yeah, but I there's definitely even even when things get frustrating, yes, it does seem to create some sort of movement for something to happen. Um, it's not the ordinary sunshiny day
mhm,
where I mean that's great, but for me, I need a little bit of something stirred up
mm.
in order for me to launch into the next thing.
Yeah.
So it's that it's uncomfortable.
Uh-huh. So now we've got, like, earlier on, it sounded like you didn't really know what to do with the uncomfortableness. It was like, do I go for a walk? Do I start working on a new project? But now you're saying, no, this uncomfortableness is that sign that I'm about to launch into something.
I love that. Yes.
I mean, that's just what I'm reflecting back. Like, what difference would it make if this kind of energy that you're feeling, this discomfort, is like, no, this is a sign. This is the rain. This is the relief. This is what I need to launch.
And that's the waiting game.
Tell me more. Tell me what you're seeing.
So during the waiting game, um, it's it's not the time for like still water. It's a time for it's like okay, get ready, because things are shaking up here. Yeah, so that and so in the waiting game, it's like okay, how to ride that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that phrase, Maria, like, get ready. I mean, what are you believing? Like, that's a whole different mindset to, this kind of stuff never happens to me. Suddenly you're like, hey, get ready, Maria. Like, what happens if you believe that voice in your head, like, get ready? What does that say to you?
Um, Change is a coming. Yeah, it is. It's like things are happening. Things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's bring your focus onto that. Like, where's the evidence? What are you seeing that is able to allow you to think this? Like, get ready, change is coming, things are happening. What can you, like, if you were to list, like, okay, these are all the things that are showing me that these statements are true.
just the awareness between what my old self would do
Mm,
and what my new self is reaching towards.
mm,
So there's like um, it, catching myself in like, no, I don't, I'm not going, I can't go backwards. I
mhm,
have to go forwards. And I'm like
mhm.
fighting this, it's like, oh, no, no, just keep going, just keep going. Let the
Yeah,
old stuff go.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's this striving to form new neural pathways
Mhm.
and building new roads. Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's take a moment to reflect on this change is coming, just to kind of bring in this final piece. When you were talking earlier and you were saying, I want to share this story. I want people to know about this journey. Like I could really hear this desire to say, I no longer want to be in that place of obscurity. Like I really feel that this is a message, this is a story that I want other people to know. So if we were to take that phrase, get ready, because right at the start you were like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this energy. Like, what if in each of those moments you were to say to yourself, get ready, but to think about like, what specifically are you getting ready for? If we reflect back to say, your real desire was to reach people, to connect with people, to share your story. So what could you actually be getting ready for?
Oh, um, like a new a new life, like a new place, new environment, new people. Um, yeah, like getting ready for like takeoff. Like being on an airplane and that sort of revving, and then all of a sudden you're like speeding down the runway, and then it's like, like and then heading to a new destination.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm on my way to like a new territory, a new chapter, new book,
Mm.
new friends, um, new opportunities. Landscape. The landscape is different. Everything's different. I'm different, and I'm attracting really, really amazing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know about you, Maria, but I'm just feeling like a whole new energy right now.
Oh, yay! Yeah.
Like we have really come to you just opening up to a new life, new opportunities, new landscape, new people. And I'm also reminded about you saying when the lady who you were networking with said, send me through a proposal, even that was new. Like that was the new step. You put the proposal together. You were saying it taught me so much, taught me about the whole arc of the story. So you took new action.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
again, how might you like here's the thing, we can be in this waiting game and we could just be stressed, or we could be saying, how can I take new action to reflect where this opportunity could be taking me? So wherever that opportunity takes you, you're already taking yourself in that direction anyway. So how might you, again, like over the next few days, what might those actions be? Like, let's just have a quick brainstorm. What could you do that would reflect, I'm Maria, I'm creating a new landscape, I'm making new friends, I'm opening up new opportunities. Like what could you do that really, the actions that really confirm that these are things that you believe?
Um, I have. I would like to reach out to people, um, and have conversations that like actual, not email conversations, but actual conversations on the phone or wherever, on video, or going outside and talking, actually talking with people, I think would be where I'd like to do what I'd like to do next.
Mm.
Yeah.
So real conversations, not finger
Yeah,
conversations,
yeah.
but voice conversations.
Voice conversations. Yes. Yes,
So
exactly.
either phone or video or in person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And like let's just imagine that. Imagine having a handful or one or two or even just one conversation, one new conversation, either video or phone or face to face. What might you be saying to yourself as you're having this conversation, as it's actually happening?
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah. So we've gone from get ready to I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I love that. So how, like, let's just take a moment to reflect. We've got a really simple thing of like when you start having a new conversation, when you're, you said I'd like to reach out to people. So reaching out to people, having phone, video, or face-to-face conversation, and you're going to be in your mind being like, I'm doing it. I'm being sensitive, Maria. I'm being off the beaten path, Maria. But I'm also being the Maria who wants to connect and tell people my story. And you're saying to yourself, I'm doing it. So how might you now, like, let's just reflect back. What does the waiting game look like for you now versus how it was looking for you?
Hmm. It feels like a creative space. It feels like there's like a blank canvas, and then I can splash whatever I want on it. Like I it's not a passive time,
Mm,
it's active. It's
mm,
proactive time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how significant is that change for you?
Oh, that's really big. Oh, that's really big because I
Yeah.
am I am kind of like a take a back seat type of person.
Yeah.
So to actually actively participate and use this space to just keep creating, and let things, whatever the outcome, it's it's fun, it's creative. I could do whatever I want, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. I could just start again.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, if we talk about being really attached on that outcome, you're basically saying, well, if this one doesn't work out, I'll just start again. Like I'm hearing that you're being really creative rather than like this is the be all and the end all. If this doesn't happen, it's like back to obscurity, Maria. It's like, no, I'm being active, I'm being creative now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mm, I love that.
Me too.
So let's just take a moment to reflect and like really just, I mean, are you happy for me to share with the audience, what happened today?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes, yes.
so folks, we were all set up to do this interview and, Maria with her crystal healing has got so many beautiful skills. I've had a wonderful crystal mapping session myself with Maria. She's a very intuitive coach. So I was going to be interviewing Maria to talk about fear of judgment because I know there's plenty of you in my audience for whom that subject is going to really resonate. But when Maria and I connected, she was like, do you know what? Right now I'm in this really intense waiting game. So I put it out there. I said, are you still happy to do the interview? And I could sense your hesitation. And I just trusted my instinct to say, well, do you want to just talk about the waiting game? And you were totally game for it. So again, like for me, Maria, it's like you could have just kept all of that in the shadows. Like you really stepped up to really show people the truth of what is going on for you in this moment, which I think is again is like part of that like authentic connection. This feels like you and I have had a real conversation today. So like, you're doing it. You're like, get ready. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to just like, as we come to an end, Maria, I'd love for you to just take a moment to reflect on, like, maybe reflect on some serendipity, the fact that you and I had this conversation planned at this time, and what choosing to talk about the waiting game has given you today that you may not have had we not had this conversation.
Oh, one thing that really comes up for me is I spent my life holding back and holding things in,
Hmm.
and my energy was very small and like very constricted. And I'm learning that when I share stuff um, and bring it out into the open, um, it's so liberating. And before I was afraid to speak up, to say anything, and but it was very, there was always something in the space. But when you share something out loud and say, well, actually, this is really what's going on, then it takes it out of the space, and then you're free to move. And I wish I had figured this out like 40 years ago. But yeah, but I so appreciate you, Gabs. Like I um, just our new friendship, I cherish, and I would love for you to join me in this new world and this new landscape and this new chapter of my life.
Yeah. You can definitely put me in your landscape, Maria, for sure.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. I cherish our connecting as well. Yeah. Oh, such a treat. Like, just a treat to just really have, like, Maria and I set our intentions before the interview. We closed our eyes, we did some breathing, we connected to our hearts, and we both felt the same. We both thought we want to have this interview, and we love the idea of just someone watching it and just feeling a lot calmer about their own waiting game. So we would love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below. How do you feel now that we've had this open, authentic conversation? What did you learn from our conversation today? Reach out in the comments and let us know your insights. Let us know your takeaways. And also, Maria, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share your social links. I'll share them in the description below. So I know that, there'll be some people, they might want to reach out on LinkedIn, or they might want to reach out on one of your other platforms. We'll put your website in the description below as well. So people who do want to connect, if they want to have a phone conversation with you or a video conversation or a face-to-face, I think it sounds like you might be open to that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wonderful. Maria, is there anything else that you would like to say? Any message that you'd like to give, or any final reflection?
Yes, I'd like to say thank you, Gabs, for creating this lovely space and community, and for being just so generous. Um, Generosity for me is a really high value,
Mm.
and I love it when people live that value. So keep shining your light. You inspire me.
That's, yeah, I'm a little teary. That was I really appreciate that, Maria. Yeah, that means a lot. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. And writers, dearest friends, wonderful, soulful creatives. Yeah, really lovely to share this interview with you, and can't wait to read your comments. Can't wait to read your takeaways. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, Maria. Bye, Maria, and bye, everybody else. Take care.
Bye.